Good Friday evening to you. I hope your weekend is off to a great start. Welcome to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. Heisman Trophy weekend, and we're going to talk all kinds of Heisman Trophy. Last two guys, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, will be playing each other. And the likely winner of this year's Heisman, a former Buckeye quarterback currently at LSU, Joe Burrow, played his high school football down in Southern Ohio. As I mentioned, the Browns are out west getting ready to face the Arizona Cardinals, trying to keep those slim playoff hopes alive. It's a matchup of the last two Heisman Trophy winners, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. Both got to be really good friends at the University of Oklahoma. Arizona is also coached by a guy that Baker used to play for when he was a walk-on freshman at Texas Tech, Cliff Kingsbury. Now, the relationship between Kingsbury and Mayfield didn't end well. As a walk-on freshman, he was 5-0, injured his leg, and then no communication between him and Kingsbury when they went back and he was healthy and was getting ready to play after leading them to a 5-0 start. Now, Kingsbury and Mayfield say they've patched things over and all is good to go. It's an interesting dynamic with a lot of subplots between Baker Mayfield and Cliff Kingsbury as well as Kyler Murray. It all adds up to the Browns facing the Cardinals, and Mayfield says Kingsbury and him have patched things up.
We've talked since. We've played against him a few times since, and so, I mean, it's exactly that. We're in a good place. Obviously, he's trying to beat me this week. I'm trying to beat him. I mean, on top of that, and Kyler being involved, it makes for a fun one for us.
I'm going to ask you that. I know it's a business trip, and you don't go head-to-head with him, but can part of you enjoy this, the fact that you guys are in the same game?
Yeah, I think anytime you see a familiar face within competition, it makes it, something you want to strive to have a little bit of bragging rights over, something, just to enjoy it, have more fun.
Was it simply the passage of time that helped you guys get to a good place, or did he kind of help that out?
Yeah, passage of time, conversation, I think all of the above. It's in the past. I mean, what happened, and we move forward.
What was your biggest issue with him at the time, and do you still use it as motivation?
I mean, it's back in 2013. It's 6 years ago. I mean, we're not going to redig issues back then.
Do you still use it at all?
No, I think it worked out for them. They got Pat Mahomes, and I think he's doing fine now. So.
Hey, Baker, do you think your success last year kind of paved the way for Kyler maybe to be? I mean, there was some scrutiny about his game, his size, all those kinds of things. Do you think your success last year helped him kind of get to where he's at?
No, I think Kyler's just a phenomenal athlete. He's one of a kind. After being around him for a few years in practice, watching him tear it up on scout team and then play, he is who he is. I mean, it's a special player. I mean, very few people. He's the only one to ever be drafted in the first round, baseball and football. There's very few athletes like him, physically capable of what he's able to do.
How much of him have you watched this year? Obviously, you're busy doing your job and focused on the Browns, but have you had any opportunity to watch any of his games, and what do you think of it?
Tried to catch a few. Obviously, with our division playing theirs, we've seen a good amount of their film, but it's try and keep up with him. But I know how busy he is. That first year is in fast motion, so just catching up with him every once in a while. I'll talk to him this week, though.
Is it any bit surreal to you that you guys went number one overall back-to-back, and now here you are ready to play each other?
No, I mean, I'm obviously very happy for him. Was happy for him. I remember I was eating dinner with my family when he won the Heisman last year, and just how excited I was for him. He deserves all that, and so it's going to be fun to play against him. I can't tell you guys that.
Pretty public last year.
Well, that was easy.
In some ways, the success that you had opened the door for another team to be able to draft a not-tall quarterback, number one overall?
No, I think our game's different. I think just his arm talent alone is very special. The things he's able to do when he throws the ball, it comes out of his hand different. And when you see it in person, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And obviously, his speed is next level. He's very quick. You try and tackle him in a phone booth. So he's a tough guy to defend.
The concepts that he ran in college, Coach Kingsbury's really incorporated into that Arizona offense. And that's kind of outside of the box in the NFL. Usually when guys come out of college, they want you to conform to a certain style of a quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you think that could be a trend in the league that, some of those out of the box, you see Lamar in Baltimore, that
Yeah.
those out of box quarterbacks can really have success and they don't have to be that quote unquote prototypical quarterback?
Yeah, I think what you see nowadays is there's been a bunch of guys to break the mold, and coaches call plays to the strengths of their players. Whether it's the QB or running backs, receivers, you want to get guys in the best position to win. And so these guys that are, more of the running quarterback, whatever you want to put the label on it, they're able to throw, but they're able to take advantage of numbers and their athleticism. But yeah, Cliff's done a good job of them implementing the things that Kyler's good at, things he's been doing for his whole career, and you're seeing that success offensively with them.
I haven't seen him in a while, so looking forward to that. But at the same time, just being able to, it's kind of special just being able to, be on the same field, opposing teams, and just play against him is obviously special.
You two obviously became close. Did you know him before Oklahoma, and how did that kind of relationship develop?
Nah, I met him. My first time meeting him was when I transferred to OU. He messaged me when he found out I was coming to OU. I think it was shortly after they lost to Clemson in the playoffs. So he hit me up shortly after that, and ever since, we were with each other for like 3 years. So.
Did you guys connect immediately?
Yeah. When I got there, it was he was really welcoming, and then ever since we just kind of been boys since.
He said today about it's important for bragging rights between the two of you. Would that mean? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
Any side bets on this one?
No side bets.
Why do you think you two become so close and get off so well?
I think just him being from Texas, just kind of both understand the background and what we stand for, the competitiveness, and just obviously when you're with somebody, as many days that we were with each other, it's you just kind of get close with each other. So I think that's just what happened.
What do you guys personality-wise seem very different? Especially the way maybe you lead a team and everything. Or are you just different? Did you learn anything from him in the years?
I learned what not to do. I always got to sit back and just watch, and it was, I'd give him stuff for it in the behind the scenes, and we all would. But to the public, obviously he's kind of a, rebellious guy. But no, he's a great dude. I look forward to playing against him on Sunday.
Is there a lot of good-natured competition between the two of you while you were there?
Yeah. Just throughout practice, he's a couple years older than me, so he's had a lot of experience. And then me coming in, my freshman or redshirt freshman year, I got to sit behind him and just obviously compete with him every day, learn from him, and I think it was good for me.
Would you ever rate him that you were better at certain things?
Yeah.
Anything specific?
Just throughout practice all the time. Yeah, it was just back and forth. He knows it.
Was it hard? You hadn't been a backup for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
2017 when you were. Was that a weird situation for you?
Was that? What year was that?
You threw like 21 passes.
Okay, yeah. That was, I transferred there, thinking he had 1 year and then he was gonna be gone, and then he got his year back, so I had to sit again, and it was what it was. Obviously any competitor, anybody that loves the game of football wants to be out there and play, but at that point I really couldn't do anything about it. He earned that right, and I just had to make the most of my opportunities, and I think we turned out fine. So.
Both are winners, have been winners their entire life. Hate to lose at anything, and Kyler's more of an introvert than Baker, but both effective leaders in their own right.
What's the story of you finding Baker, recruiting you? Was he highly recruited at the time?
No, he didn't have many offers. I think he ended up having one, but you could see very talented. We already had a quarterback committed, but really liked what we saw and continued to recruit him and stay on him, and felt like he could play at a high level, and it worked out.
What's your relationship with Baker like now?
It's been good. I saw him at the Kentucky Derby and spoke, and he knows how I feel about him as a player, as a person, has for a number of years.
Knowing how competitive they are, how do you think they'll take Sunday's game?
They'll be fired up for this one. There's no doubt. They'll both be ready to rock.
You've had a lot of games this season with connections from guys from college, but with Baker's double connection with you and Kyler? Is this one any more significant?
I don't think so. I mean, anytime there's a guy that I've been fortunate enough to be around and work with, you're always pulling for those guys any other week until you play them, and then you still want to see them, have success and come out of it healthy.
Go ahead.
Is that something that'll be weird a few years down the road when you don't know these guys from college? You'll obviously know people from the NFL, but have you thought about that at all?
Not really. I'm sure. I mean, it'll get more and more distant as this thing goes on, but it's fun now to see guys that you had a relationship with previously to have success and watch, kind of how their careers go.
Baker obviously was unhappy with some things when he left Texas Tech and went. Have you guys had a chance to talk things out and kind of smooth things over?
We've talked. Like I said, we're in a good place, and always excited to see how he's playing in his career and what he's done. Being at ground zero of that deal and where it started to where it is now is phenomenal, and you got to give him all the credit in the world. Every level he goes to, he continues to excel and prove people wrong.
Knowing both quarterbacks like you do, what do you think that Oklahoma quarterback room was like in 2007?
Probably pretty tense, yeah. Probably pretty tense. I can imagine if a ball touched the ground in practice, they were probably talking trash to each other. I mean, that's kind of how they both are perfectionists and expect to be great, and so that was probably a pretty fun room to be in.
Is there any chance Baker got Kyler to talk a little more?
Possibly. He's pretty good at bringing that out in people.
Is this one of those games where you kind of need to tell Kyler, just play in the system, play your role, because he might want to do a little more to prove to Baker, just show that he has he's better.
I'm not sure specifically if this game, but just overall, like I talked about, I feel like he's been pressing a little bit, trying to win games with every throw at times, and he understands, hey, play within the system. So I don't think that's added this week. I just think that's kind of where we needed to be headed anyways. Do your job and execute at a high level, and let's get back in rhythm.
I know you watch the defense, but what do you think of the Browns' overall offense and defense?
Yeah, really talented. Offensively, you look at the weapons. The two running backs are as good as anybody in the league. Dynamic tight ends, they can stretch the field. I mean, two of the top wide receivers, do a nice job with their scheme. So they're loaded and have two huge wins over Baltimore and Buffalo, who are two of the top teams in the league. So you can see any given day they can play with anybody.
Obviously, an important game for the Browns. The 4 o'clock window out in Arizona. Browns need a win to keep those slim playoff hopes alive. It'll be interesting with the former teammates that were the last two Heisman Trophy winners going against each other. Well, the Ohio Lottery stat of the month for December. There are over $3 million paid out on Ohio Lottery scratch-offs each and every day. Give the gift of winning this month with popular Ohio Lottery scratch-offs like Holiday Cash, Holiday Lucky Times 10, and Merry Millions, the Ohio Lottery. Time for us to step aside, take a quick time out. When we return, we're talking a former Buckeye who is now an LSU Tiger and the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy this year, Joe Burrow. More sports and Les Levine. Weekend Winners Edition will be right back. Stay with us.
Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine. Welcome back to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. We've talked about the last two Heisman Trophy winners, and Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield of the Browns. This year's Heisman Trophy will be announced tomorrow, Saturday evening, Downtown Athletic Club. And the favorite, the overwhelming favorite, in fact, is Joe Burrow, who started his college career at Ohio State. Burrow was named the Maxwell Award winner and the Davey O'Brien Award winners last night. Those go to the best overall college football player and the best quarterback in college football. He is an overwhelming favorite to hear his name called as the Heisman Trophy winner for 2019. It wouldn't be any bit of a surprise if Joe Burrow wins it to the guys who knew him best at Athens High School down in Southern Ohio. Watch Athens quarterback Joe Burrow throw the football and it seems almost effortless. Put him in the Bulldogs spread offense and watch scoreboards across the state blow up.
I have great chemistry with my wide receivers. I've grown up throwing to them since third grade. We've all been together for 10 years, and we have great chemistry together.
He does so many special things, and he's got so many great teammates that can really work his talent well, and he certainly orchestrates all of it.
Burrow and the Bulldogs are hitting all the right notes. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards, 57 touchdowns, and just one interception in his senior year. He's the leader of one of Ohio's all-time highest scoring offenses.
Our goal is to score 60 points. If we get upset if we don't score every time we get out there. So we were kind of upset with tonight in the first half, but the second half we turned it on.
Because he throws the ball so well, some overlook the other parts of Burrow's game.
A lot of people don't think I can run too much. They kind of just brush that off to the side, but I pride myself on my running ability.
He's quicker than most people think. His top end speed's a little faster than people think. He's deceptive. And, he's got the ability to jump and get lateral a little bit on you, too. He's got about all the skills that you'd ever want in a quarterback.
All the skills of a quarterback, the arm, the legs, the understanding of the offense, are off the charts for Joe Burrow. But that's not what makes him the elite quarterback he is.
The overall thing that sticks out in your mind when you've been around Joe Burrow for any amount of time at all is that he's just such a fierce competitor. He strives to win. He elevates people around him, and he just works so hard. And it couldn't happen to a better kid. He's humble in his success.
Burrow comes from a football family. His father was a star linebacker at Nebraska. Joe has committed to play for the Ohio State Buckeyes next season.
It really wasn't a dream. I wanted to be a Nebraska Cornhusker, but they never called, and I'm extremely happy with the way things turned out.
In talking to recruiters, which we had an awful lot of over the past year, the biggest thing that I told them is he is a guy you don't want on the other sideline, and to me that's a huge compliment to make on a kid, but he's such a unique kid. He really is. He's his own guy. He's comfortable in his own shoes.
As far as success on the next level, Coach Adams, who has known Burrow since his middle school days, sums it up best.
There's no way in this world that I'd ever bet against Joe Burrow because he's a kid that always finds a way to get it done.
You may wonder why Nebraska was Joe Burrow's dream school. Well, his dad was coaching at the University of Nebraska on Frank Solich's staff. His dad then followed Solich to Ohio University, which is why Joe grew up in Athens. Added note, his dad took a year off to follow Joe and see him play at LSU this year. Has to be a heck of a year for the Burrow family. He is the overwhelming favorite to be named the Heisman Trophy winner. Want to tell you about Northeast Factory Direct. Great deals, none of that typical retail nonsense, no gimmicks or deceiving blowout sales. Just 3 huge bare-bones warehouses filled with some of the same stuff you find at a number of stores. One big difference at Northeast Factory Direct, the items are priced about half of regular retail. 3 locations, the old B&B Appliance on Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, Freeway Drive in Macedonia, and check out everything in northeastfactorydirect.com, also on West 140th Street in Cleveland. We're going to step aside, take a quick timeout. The D-Man will join us in studio, the pick segment. I'm trying to catch him in this one. More sports, Les Levine. The Weekend Winners Edition will be right back. Stay with us.
Get your garage ready for the holidays.
We had some cracks in the floor. We needed to enhance the beauty of it. That's when we called Nature Stone.
Nature Stone corrects uneven concrete, so you don't have to worry about tripping or slipping. And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. For a limited time, get Nature Stone installed now and pay nothing until next year. Payments as low as $99 a month. No interest, no down payment. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs Casino.
Welcome back to More Sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. Time to tell you, legalized sports wagering just a little over an hour away from downtown Cleveland, right off of I-90 in Erie, Pennsylvania. Presque Isle Downs Casino is the place. Bet America Sportsbook, 50 state-of-the-art kiosks located throughout their casino floor. You can walk right into the casino, place a bet, and get back on your way. It's easy, it's touchscreen, and it's a whole lot of fun. Presque Isle Downs Casino. Just an hour away from downtown Cleveland in Erie, Pennsylvania. Well, it's time to do our pick segment, and I am falling further and further back. Is 1-3 not a good week for me? 3-1 for the D-Man. He has a commanding lead. My playoff hopes are on the line, so I got to get things straightened out. D-Man, 3-1. Nice job last week. Let's begin with the Browns. The Browns are on the road in Arizona facing the Cardinals. Cardinals are 2.5-point home underdogs. Who do you like in this one?
I like the Cardinals for a number of reasons. Primarily, I don't like what I'm seeing from the Browns. Thought it was a very choppy performance last week in a victory over the bad Bengals, the terrible Bengals. I also, like most Browns fans, watched the Cardinals-Pittsburgh game in Arizona, from Arizona on the TV. And the Cardinals had opportunities to win that game. Not saying they should have, but they easily could have. Kyler Murray made some really bizarre decisions in the red zone. Otherwise, the Cardinals beat the Steelers. So I think that the Cardinals are due. They've lost 6 in a row. They're due to finally get over the hump and win again. And they have the right opponent in Cleveland, which is searching and questioning some of what they're trying to do. So I like the Cardinals in this spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think the Cardinals +2. I think they're a pretty good pick to win it outright. Kyler Murray against a banged-up Browns defensive front. That's not a good combination for the Browns. Cardinals also have Kenyon Drake, Larry Fitzgerald. Those are guys that could create some problems in the secondary for the Browns as well. So I am in agreement with you. I like the Cardinals getting 2 points at home, and I think they may win it outright. We'll move on. Texans at Tennessee against the Titans. Titans are 3-point favorites. What do you like in that one?
One of my rules of thumb, my general rules of thumb is with the Titans, anything at home, 3 or fewer, you take the Titans. I especially like it in this case because the Titans are hot. Ryan Tannehill is slinging the ball all over the yard. He looks fantastic. And the Texans are coming off of just an embarrassment. They got hammered by the Broncos in Houston. So I think with the red-hot Titans, coming off a bad loss Texans, Titans at home, give me Mike Vrabel's crew.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel doing a nice job. Young head coach from the area, a Walsh Jesuit grad.
And by the way, Dave, that means the Titans would take over the AFC South lead if, in fact, the Titans win.
Let's talk a little bit about the Seahawks. Seahawks didn't play very well in last week. They are -6 at the Carolina Panthers, another team that didn't play very well.
Yeah, give me the Seahawks by at least double digits here because Seattle didn't suddenly get bad. Carolina has packed it in. They've lost, I think, 5 in a row.
And their head coach.
The head coach is gone. Perry Fewell is the interim, but Fewell's presence wasn't enough to fend off a loss last week. So I think Seattle has a lot to play for. Russell Wilson, neck and neck pretty much MVP candidate with Jackson until the past 3 or 4 games. I think Wilson regains the magic, and Seattle shows, again, why it's a good road team, a really good road team.
Yeah, Wilson struggled mightily against the Rams last week. Last one for you, Raiders -6.5 at Jacksonville. Oakland coming off a disappointing performance last week as well.
Raiders have been disappointed for a few weeks, but here's the thing. This is more about the dilapidated Jaguars than it is about the struggling Raiders. The Jaguars are terrible, and they have all but quit on Coach Doug Marrone. I mean, they won't say it publicly, and of course they're going to claim they're trying hard out on the field, but the reality is it's almost certain that Marrone is gone at the end of the season. It's going to be hard for the Jaguars to get the motivation to go across the country and play anybody, let alone a Raiders team that's capable of scoring. So I like the Raiders to win this one comfortably.
Yeah, I liked that one as well. Didn't make it into the 3 that I was picking, which is probably not a good thing for you if I liked it the way I'm going.
No, I trust you, Dave. I still do.
I'm going to go with the Patriots -10 at the Bengals. Patriots -10 at the Bengals. I know they're coming off a disappointing performance against Kansas City Chiefs, but you shouldn't mention the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs in the same sentence. And I think the Patriots have plenty of run game to run the ball right down the Bengals' throat, something the Browns should have done and did not do in that game last week.
I agree with you there. My picks for the Plain Dealer and cleveland.com, I will be taking the Patriots. It would be uncivilized to say Bengals +10 over Bill Belichick in December. It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, even Andy Dalton can't save the Bengals against the Patriots in this one. I also like the Rams. The Rams -1 in Dallas against Cowboys. Cowboys are an absolute mess. You got Jerry Jones, you got Jason Garrett, and you got very little offense that can figure things out. And the Rams looked pretty good. Now, I know the Cowboys had 10 days to figure this out. It may take them 10 years to figure out what ails them the last several games.
Another Dave Bacon pick that I like. This is the countdown to Urban Meyer as the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And the Rams, after that embarrassment in prime time against the Ravens, have looked good in 2 straight wins.
I think you're going to see a lot of Todd Gurley running against the Cowboys. And then I like the Bills +1.5 at the Steelers. I know they lost to the Ravens. That game was closer. That was one of my losses last week as I took the Bills. So I guess I'm hanging with the Bills, but I just think the Bills defense will do what you should do against a Steelers third-string quarterback, second and third-string running backs. Something the Browns weren't able to do against a really bad Pittsburgh offense.
This is where I disagree with you. I think the Steelers hold serve at Heinz. Heinz will be rocking because, incredibly, the Steelers are in the number 2 wild card spot behind the number 1 wild card Bills. Mike Tomlin's done an amazing job. So I think the Steelers pull it out.
Yeah, my question is, has Mike Tomlin sold his soul to the devil to win with the talent that he has on the field? Because that
we don't need you, Roethlisberger.
That doesn't add up. It's credit to Pittsburgh. They are playing well. Well, that'll do it. So I want to again remind you, legalized sports wagering just a little over an hour away from downtown Cleveland, right off of I-90. You can see it pretty much from I-90. Presque Isle, Downs and Casino in Erie, Pennsylvania. 50 state-of-the-art Bet America sportsbook, state-of-the-art kiosks, touchscreen. You put your money in, you make your bet, you're back in your car in 5 minutes. Remember, it's just a little over an hour away from downtown Cleveland. Presque Isle, Downs and Casino. That'll do it for us. We will see you again next week right here on More Sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. Want to remind you, Les Levine back in the chair Monday night at 6 o'clock right here on More Sports and Les Levine. Have a great weekend, everybody, and stay safe.